Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cam, and I finally watched Pom Poko. And I think for like the first time in this channel's history, I have no idea what I'm going to say about a movie, because I'm just going to be straight up. That's how I've always been in this channel, but I'm just going to be straight up. This is one of the weirdest movies that I have ever seen. And I have seen a fair share of movies in my lifetime. When this movie was over, I was left thoroughly speechless. And I just sat there in just stunned silence of just how I was supposed to talk about this movie. But I typed out some notes, I cleared my thoughts, and I said to myself, you know what? Let's do the video anyway. Pom Poko was directed by Isao Takahata, and it starred the voice talents of Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Clancy Brown, J.K. Simmons, and others, in the English version at least. And this movie tells the story of a pack of raccoon dogs, yes, that's what they're called, who notice that their forest home is being slowly taken over by urban development. And so to stop them and to protect their home, they go to extreme measures to do so. I've noticed a bit of a dip in quality in the last couple of Ghibli movies that I've watched. I liked Porco Rosso just fine. I thought that movie was actually pretty underrated, but I was not a big fan of Only Yesterday, and there was just a part of me that was just sitting here like, well, is Ghibli just like only known for those few movies and like those are the only good ones? And while I can safely say that that is not the case, this movie, like I said, left me absolutely speechless. Let me just say first and foremost that I did like this movie. I think. There's a lot of stuff that just will leave you scratching your head, but a lot of the Ghibli elements that you have come to know and love are definitely present in this movie. The animation in the movie is, as usual, drop-dead gorgeous. The same team that made Only Yesterday worked on this movie, and, well, it really does show. The voice cast is stellar as well, specifically Clancy Brown. I actually just rewatched The Shawshank Redemption for the AFI project. That video will be going up on Monday. And it just shocks me that man has the range that he does, going from just a cruel and sinister prison guard who has no compassion in his heart whatsoever to this raccoon dog. It's so crazy that man's voice can voice this raccoon dog, Mr. Krabs, and in the same turn play just this cruel and ruthless individual in The Shawshank Redemption. That man has some serious range. But when I was researching this movie for this video, I came across a lot of reviews that compared this movie to the work of Wes Anderson. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Pom Poko is a very sophisticated drama just told through the eyes of animated raccoon dogs. Just like in Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs, which are sophisticated dramas told through the lenses of various field animals and dogs, respectively. If you were to show like a double feature of like Isle of Dogs and Pom Poko, or Pom Poko and Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think the two would surprisingly work together. But if you're going to watch this movie, I feel the need to prepare you by saying there is just a ton of weird stuff that happens in this movie. And in that regard, I'm going to be talking about some spoilers, so if you don't want to hear about this part, skip to this time code to get my final thoughts. We learn early on that these raccoon dogs, a certain amount of them, can transform themselves into humans, and they try and influence world events even though that they're in human form. The narrator says that the difference between a regular human and a raccoon dog pretending to be a human can be many things, up to and including the dark circles that are around one's eyes. I used to have dark circles like that all the time. I'm not a raccoon dog, I promise. And again, I'm not saying that this is a deal breaker for the movie. All that I'm saying is that you go into the movie not knowing what to expect, and then you get thrust into the realization that in this universe there are raccoon dogs who can transform themselves into human beings, and back again if need be. It's a bit of a culture shock. But then just the strangest part of the movie happens in the final battle. And I should say that throughout the entire movie, the designs of these raccoon dogs make it to where you can see their nutsacks very prominently. And the entire final battle revolves around these raccoon dogs expanding their nutsacks, using them to either fly or use them as a weapon. No, I cannot make any of that up. That actually happens in the final battle of this movie. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I've seen a lot of just horror movies and just weird movies from like A24 and Troma and just like weird stuff in general. But when I was sitting in this chair watching Pom Poko on my 4K TV, I just had to pause it and just be like, is this happening? Am I caught in some kind of a genjutsu? Like, is this the Matrix? What am I looking at? I think the best way that I could describe Pom Poko to someone who had never seen it is this review from Letterboxed. And I won't say the user's name, but this is a legit review if you look up Pom Poko on Letterboxd. Quote, Studio Ghibli is great because on the one hand you get harrowing films where you watch young children die of starvation, and then you also get films where raccoons perform magic with their nutsacks. I think that's a good place to end this video. But that is all from me, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Next Sunday on the channel, I'll be taking a deep dive into the 2016 film La La Land and asking the question, 5 years later, is this movie still as good as it was in 2016? And then the next Sunday will be yet another I Finally Watched, where I talk about the Ghibli film Whisper of the Heart. But if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way, when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam. I'll see you in the next one.